It is June 24, 2022, and today is it midsummer evening. It's many people are working today, but they only work half day. And I heard in the morning it was very loudly of cars. The traffic was very high, and many are traveling today and visit friends, and some visit, they are together families to celebrate midsummer here in Sweden. And the midsummer, this with a feast, and midsummer, people from other country, they don't understand it. Some I say that on Facebook, and an American friend say, we have midsummer in the beginning of June, she say, and she didn't understood why we celebrate midsummer, and it is because we have it so very dark here up in the north, and it's a long winter, and the fall can be very, very cloudy and dark, and very much rain, and blowing wind very much, and it's not, we have to stay inside in our home, and only those that have to do something outside need to go out anyway, even if it's storm outside. So now today is it it's not really the longest day today. It have passed for 2-3 days ago, but we celebrate it always in June 24 and 25. And in Christianity, it's a celebration for the Christianity also, because this was the John the Baptist day. This and but ordinary Swedish people in the history, and today we celebrate because it's a light, almost 24 hour. Maybe it can be dark 2 hours, and then it's coming back again, the light. So here where I lived, it's depend where. Sweden is a long country, but here in the very south, is it about 4 o'clock in the night when the sun start to shine. So for some people is it very hard to sleep in the summer, and it's good in that way that the days be longer because they wake up earlier than in wintertime. And when I was working, I prefer to work this time of year, because I love to, and I know it now about my DNA, but I didn't knew in that time that I love to walk in the morning, and then they were out in the stores, and they cleaning up the in front of the stores, and brush, and have water on, this preparing for the date when they open the stores. And I love this, what they are doing in the early morning before they open up the shops, the stores. And I know it's not really Swedish to do it, but it's like remind me about Eastern Europe. That's they do every day and year around to clean up in front of. It's not about only about the stores around our house. Also, it's like preparing the day, and that we only have here in Sweden in the summer. So it's very special to go to a job in the morning or in the summer. And I am on my way out because it's really summer weather today. We have not had so hot weather for 50 years. So I am going out and celebrate midsummer with other people. And that is only like a family. It starts with the family celebration, midsummer. The children is together with the parents. I will see how much it is today with all the kids that have the phones, and even adults have the phones. So see how much they look at the dance around the midsummer pool, and how much they look in their phones. And I'm going to take with me my camera, my telephone, but I don't have anyone that call me. But I use it as my camera. And I have already, yesterday I was out and picking midsummer flowers. So this morning I cut them and placed them a little better than yesterday. And I'm going to have this picture that I took this morning on this episode. That's wild flowers that I have picked. I have flowers in my garden, but it's special for me. It's not a traditional in Sweden to pick flowers out in the forest, wild flowers. Most people of today, they go and buy flowers. That is, they harvest, it's business flowers. But I was yesterday out and driving around with my scooter, my walking scooter, and pick flowers. And daisy is a midsummer flower that in most of the midsummer we don't have it. The flowers have flower bloom over, and but the spring have been so cold, so the flowers, the wild flowers, is late. So I was looking around for the daisies, and when I driving around like that, I am relaxed. I love to be doing this, pick all the flowers. I cut them. I don't take the roots of flowers, so they coming back next year. And I had for some days ago find a place where I saw some daisies, I was thinking it was daisies, and I was thinking I'm going there, but I didn't really remember where it was. But I was thinking I'd drive the same way that I did, and maybe I see them. But then I remember that I have not research my scooter, so I was not sure how long I could drive. So I didn't do that. I didn't drive so far away, and started to return back home. And I find some white flower that look like daisy on the side of the road, and cut it. But when I pick it up, I saw it was not daisy. It was other like flowers that people don't like, weeds like that. So I took only one of them, and I was thinking maybe those daisy I saw for some days ago was not daisy. Maybe it was this flower I was thinking, but I want to have real daisies. So when I come close to my home, I was thinking I drive a little way to see if there is daisy. There is places I have drive that people are not in those places, so maybe they have not. Maybe it's daisies, but they have not taken them. So I drive to one of our biggest mall, but not inside the mall, on the outside of it. And then I saw a little path up. It was very hard to drive up, but it was like God took me to that little path, and I drive up, and there was like a daisy heaven. It was 1,000 of real daisies, and then it was the whole field was full of many midsummer flowers. So I could pick everything there that I should have for my midsummer feast at home alone. And the midsummer feast, the midsummer dance where I'm going is going to be 2:00, and then I drive home and I am back after 3:00, and then I can have my dinner outside and celebrate a little more midsummer. But as I am on my own, I don't do so much. Before, in the past, I did very much of the traditional. I was very traditional freak. So I did very hard work, I did. And no one helped me of my family. I had a man in my life, and I have 2 kids, and they only said, no, it's no important, we don't do it. But I wanted to do the tradition, and I had to work for it. But now when I am on my own, I only do those little that I have to have in midsummer to like pick it out that is a special day today. So I do it. It's strawberries. It's the first Swedish strawberries that they are selling in the store. But as as the spring have been so cold, it's not so many strawberries to buy, so I don't buy it. I wait for my own strawberries in the garden. They are white, so with this warm weather it's going to be so I can eat them in 2 days. So why should I go and buy very expensive strawberries, because they can take the price what they want, because people want to eat strawberries on midsummer, and but I can wait as I am on my own. I'm gonna eat strawberries, but that is in another form. It's be like ice cream with strawberry taste. So I have got some message today. That's why it was, of course, I wanted to recording about midsummer, and I'm going to you that is have been to Sweden, and you that are related to Sweden, you maybe want to hear Swedish summer music, midsummer music. Most of it is midsummer music, old traditional music. I have a playlist on my Spotify, and it is for 14 hours, so it's very much music, and I'm going to place it in my what I describe about this episode. I'm going to place the link to my YouTube list about midsummer music, and it's in most of it is Swedish. I think everything is Swedish. I only play it on midsummer, so I don't remember how it looked like. I have placed some new music this year, and now for 1 week ago. So it's every year it's added to new music that I find. And today it was first it was about Israel, that it was the spirit. It's a spirit coming here now. A spirit that is happy that I talk about it. A spirit that have say this to me today is that on Facebook I follow the Jewish museum, the Swedish Jewish museum. And it was about one of my ancestors that come to Sweden, and he changed so much for the Jewish people, and he was the first that make that we get the Jewish community here in Sweden. He come in the late 1700, and he and it was his picture. I recognized the picture, so I stopped and read the post that the Jewish Museum had written about him. And then I start to write comments about it, that I have Isaac in my family tree, and then I wrote about that I have many on my mother's side, and I have done a new DNA test. I have the second DNA test that is on her lineage, and he is still in the same family tree. And so it's confirmed very much. And then my father also have Jewish roots. So this was the spirit was talking to me. The spirit was talking to my spirit, and he was saying this, that I have to return to Israel. God have told me that he will find me wherever I am. So that I am cool with that. I'm okay with that. But then is my ancestors. They have another opinion. God was like he was saying this to calm me down. I don't need to think about it. He will find me wherever I am. And it have nothing with Israel to do. It have with my relationship with God, that he know where I am. And because he know my whole life. So God knows where I'm going. But I don't. But the Spirit said to me today that when I write that post, the Spirit was over me, and he said that because of my Jewish roots, I need to return to Israel. Not, he's here, oh, he's so very much on me now. It's fun. It's so interesting when I feel that he touched me. That he say it's not about you. It's about all your ancestors. They didn't make it back to Israel, but you can make it back to Israel for them. For the spirits, it's they gonna make it. They gonna make me come back to Israel. Not like visit Israel, because that I have done 3 times. But the 4th time I will stay in Israel for the rest of my life, and I'm going to continue my podcast from Israel to you. And another way of view of life I'm going to tell you, because I'm in the Middle East. I'm in Israel, so it's be different from what I'm talking about today. And I mean what I see and hear in this time, now, here and now. And I understood it. And it was, I prepared me for to fly to Israel in November, and I posted on my Facebook profile, and if it's in God's will, I will come to Israel in November, I say. And next day, on the news, it was saying that we will have the pills instead of injection for against COVID. We are going to get pills against it instead. And now it was like God say that to me, that you're gonna be okay because you can take a pill and then fly to Israel. I'm a little stuff in my nose. I need to take some spray for stuffed nose. And that was the same thing God did to me when I asked God for a long time ago if he wanted me to take an injection against COVID. And I asked God that. And next day I watched the news, and they say it was not the news, it was somewhere else. I saw it, that now we could go into our papers in the hospital and write and read what the tests, all the tests we have done in the hospital, what it does say. And it was the first time, the day after I asked God if I should take an injection. So I read my papers about the latest test, and it says that I was full of inflammation in my whole body. So that was not good to take that medicine. And I had asked, when I was laying in the hospital because of sepsis, blood poisoning, I asked the doctor if I should take the medicine, COVID. And she said no. And then I got this with a paper I could read. It was not good. So I think the pills can be different from the injections. And because for me, I take that pill, and for me, I have bad digesting. So if I take the pill, that my stomach will not digest that pill. It's going out from my body almost immediately. So I don't be affected of the pill. That I know now, just when I talk to you. That's why God approved me that I can take the pill, and then I have the paper to could go to Israel in November, but that November is my time to see it, but it can be another date on it. But why I say November is because I have this injection for my psoriasis. I get it every third month. So I am thinking that I should fly to Israel just after I have got the injection, and then I have 3 months in Israel to be, and if I have to go home, I can go home before I take next injection. I can stay in Israel in 2 months at least. So, but that's in God's will when He wants me to fly to Israel. I have someone that is saying to me that he is going to help me. He's a very mysterious man, and I have taken risk before. So, but this is not fast decision I need to take, because I only tell him that I'm coming to Israel when I'm ready to come to Israel. So it's not that this fast move that the devil do. So it's maybe, and God will tell me if I should go to Israel in that way or another way. But my money, I don't have so much money, so I can't stay at a hotel for a long time. It's too expensive, the hotel in Israel, so I need to stay in a private home. And this man is divorced, so he maybe, I don't know. He don't say anything. He's Jewish, and he don't say anything more than I will help you. That's what he's saying. And it's like he is not God, but it's like God is talking, because he's talking very short. And we will see. And then it was this about the COVID, that it was about on the news today. I say I took a shower and God was talking to me. God talking to me all the time when I something he tell me when I take a shower, because that's when I am very relaxed. When I sit, I love to be in the shower, and then he talked to me. I can't stand in the shower. I have to have a chair to sit and relax. And then he tell me, and what he was telling to me today is the title of this episode is Are you paying for a lie? And that was in the news. And you maybe have it also, like on our morning news. It's a text rolling in down at the screen, but they never talk about some of this news that coming in, and they text it for 2-3 hours, so long as the morning show is, and they never talk about it. And today it was this that the new variation, the other new Omicron, B something, it's the most going on in Sweden. And when they say these things, then they never talking about that we have, or we still have COVID-19 in Sweden, and but it's not pandemic. That means that spread all over the world, and it's they lie, media, about these things. I think when they are media and we pay for them to write and say things, and then they, in some kind of lie, they do, because it's like a warning a little, but not warning about that we still have the COVID-19, but it's not seems like a pandemic. And yesterday my neighbors, I was out and talked to my neighbors, a Swedish couple, and they told me that they had this Omicron virus, the whole family. And they say it was very nasty, but it was not deadly. But it was very bad virus. And so it's going on still. But in the media, does it seems like it's over, everything, it's total clean. And I was in the store for the first time in 3 years. I was in the store, and because I wanted to see if they have still the water that is sparkling water. They have very nice in that store I drove in. And when I drove in there, it was so much people. And I was happy that I prevented by taking on me a mask before I go in there. And it was what I felt. And maybe it was a warning from the Spirit to put on my mask. And it was the older people, they didn't let me come forward in the store. It was so much. So I was happy that I had a mask, because it's still going on. And my neighbors say that they didn't know that if you touch things when a person have COVID, and you touch in just after that person have touched something, then you can get COVID. And he said, my neighbors, that we didn't know. We didn't took care of the hands. We were not protecting the hands. And I had, because I knew that it was even in the ears you can get it when it was very bad. So I had in my ears something, maybe something with a hat or something, in the beginning when it was strongest here. And then I always have something before my eyes. If I have my sunglasses on, I carry the sunglasses inside the store, like I did now, and when I'm close to people, because I have this Ray-Ban sunglasses that I bought the last time I was in Israel. It was not so expensive, so I bought it, and it changed so I can see inside the store also with them. So I always cover my eyes, and then when it was very bad COVID-19, I had gloves on me, but they didn't, and maybe that's why they got it. So it's about, it's one thing, this, do you buy for a lie? But that also is about the church. Are you buying a lie? Is it that you tie the church, even if you know what's behind the scene. Do you know what is going on with the pastor? What is going on with his wife? What is going on with his family? That he don't take care of his family, that he say wrong things to you. And I find out when I was homeless in the United States, and I was like a shadow in the church, and I could hear everything they were saying because I was friends with the bishop and pastors, and they knew many things that could help people, but they didn't tell them. That was their secret. So that's if you're holding back things that is something that can help people, and you hold it back, then you are a liar. That's a lie. Because if a person is saying something and it struggle with it to find an answer of those things that the problem is for them, and you know the solution on it, and you don't say it, and some say it only and some doesn't say it because they are evil, and they're holding back what they know, because they want you to suffering and have pain and everything, have problems. They even, some spirit is saying this to you. Now he's talking to you. Some of you, not everyone, but some of you that listen, that he's showing me a black woman. She is very fat, not extremely fat, but she's fat woman, and she is going into your mind, and she telling you lies, and she pretend to be your friend. But this spirit is saying, because he see it, he say that she is on your husband. She is on your man. She pretend to be your friend. She pretend to solve all your problems, and you rely on her and listen at her, and as soon that's a way for her to know when you are away from home. Then she going home to your man and have sex with him. And he said it's a woman also that is not have sex, but she is going into your home and is about drinking, and it can be with drugs to do, that she give him those things, and they have a party when you are away. So what she is doing is that she schedule you when you are out, when you are not there. Then she know that she can go home to you, when to your husband, to your children, to your home, and like she is the mother of the house. I know it wakes up some of you, because he showed me a black woman, and she have this and no sleeves, this that is barely cover your skin in outside in the sun. She's wearing it She she look like ordinary woman. She she don't she don't need to be sexy because she's talking into your home. She's not showing this petty tea or have sexy clothes on. She is an ordinary woman, and she hide it. She hide herself in that she look like harmless, but she is not harmless. She have a tongue like a snake. That was he was coming through to say that to you, so you know. And this is about what you add in. You have not been careful what you bring in. So today you should change it and clean up who you let into your home. She's your friend. You doing fun things together, but the whole time when you do fun things together, going shopping and eat food, she note everything what you're saying and doing, to have it, to get everything what you have to be hers. That's what the devil do. He steal, and he hide, and she is just that. She hide with her looking like ordinary person, and not. She have not so much jewelers on her, and she don't do so much with the nails and these things. She have homemade fake nails like that. She don't go and do so fancy things because she want to melt into so she can do her agenda. So that was about what I wanted to say to you today, and now it's time for me to start to do my midsummer. I'm soon driving to this midsummer feast with dance for the family and look at it and take some pictures. So God bless you. Thank you for listening.